Basketball fans, dunk fans, don't go anywhere. Today we're going to dive in and take a look at the top 10 highest vertical jumps in NBA history. Are they accurate? We'll find out. What's going on, everybody? This is Tyler Ray here, expert vertical jump coach with Project Pure Athlete. And I've seen this video floating around. It's been sent to me on multiple occasions, and people want to know, is this the right list? Is this an accurate list? What do I know? What can I add to the picture? So we're going to be reacting to that video today from our friends over at Nonstop Sports. Make sure if you want to watch the full video, the link's in the description below. We make sure we always have that for you. I've always been a fan of basketball and obviously a fan of dunking. For those that don't know, I was a former professional dunker along with my colleague, my partner in crime, the other jump guy here, Coach Chase. So we understand dunking and jumping on a different level, that we can promise. Before we dive into the video, click the subscribe button below and make sure you give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us out. But come join our family, come join our team, and check out the amazing content that we have to help you be a better athlete and fly higher. All right, enough of this. Hey, stop talking, Tyler. Let's get your shit together and dive into this video in 3, 2, 1.
To be great at basketball, you have to love the game and be really skilled. However, it also helps if you can jump out of the gym. Throughout NBA history, there have been many guys athletically able to do things that
It's already starting. There's going to be a lot of dunks, obviously, so I'm going to react. I'm going to freak out. I'm going to have my moments. Just bear with me. All right, and great point, right? Being a basketball player, being an athlete is great, but it's always just icing on the cake to be an exceptional raw athlete.
Are beyond belief for ordinary humans. In this video, we'll go over the players with the highest vertical jumps of all
Williamson,
time.
let's go.
For those
That's
players
Shannon
who
Brown.
have official measurements.
DJ, let's go.
Shannon Brown, 44.5 inches. When you can impress...
I can remember Shannon Brown days like they were yesterday. And this exact moment, this was, I believe, from a huge pin on the glass.
Kobe with your athletic ability, you are definitely an above average leaper. Shannon Brown's vertical is 44.5 inches, and even though he was a role player throughout his career, his athletic prowess was breathtaking. Brown,
he played his part. Obviously, he drew in a crowd just from that sheer athleticism, and as a team, obviously bringing people on board that are highly marketable, high flyers, advantageous. Definitely a way to go.
Won 2 titles with the Lakers in 2009 and 2010, where he played the best basketball of his career. He also appeared in the 2010 dunk contest, but surprisingly couldn't get past the first.
But shit the bed. Listen, it takes a lot to be a show dunker versus an in-game dunker. They're different skill sets. We get asked a lot about how to improve dunking. Like, I jump so high, I don't understand why I can't dunk. Jumping's a skill, dunking's a skill. You have to learn both. You have to take the time to perfect that. And Shannon Brown, phenomenal athlete, had his moments, but definitely had some room to go for being a show dunker. Needed more practice.
First round. Zion Williamson, 45 inches.
An absolute unit. We knew Zion was going to be in here. Just from a sheer relative strength perspective, he's just a marvel.
It's unreal that a 285-pound man that's built like a tank can jump as high as Zion can. Zion is like a Tesla Model X, an SUV that can win in a race against a sports car. With the 45-inch vertical, Williamson is one of the most athletic players in the NBA.
Like, the amount of force he provides to the ground is just outstanding. It's like thousands of suns worth of energy. That's a little bit of a stretch, but you know what I'm saying.
Even as a rookie, he's one of the most challenging guys to guard, and we've seen players simply bounce off his large body. At his time at Duke, he successfully
he's like an explosive jumping deep freezer.
Completed a dunk from the free throw line, leaving all GMs drooling to get the #1 pick. Hopefully, he'll remain injury-free. So
would love a cross-section of his tendons just to see how durable and thick and robust they are. Sorry I'm geeking out over his tendons, but they would be absolutely mind-blowing to see.
Free, so we can all enjoy the game of this physical marvel. Spud Webb, 46 inches.
GOAT! Come on, inspiring a whole generation of short people that want to bounce. Spud Webb is absolutely deserving of being on this list.
6 inches. When you hear that the third shortest guy who ever played NBA basketball is also a slam dunk champion, you think, it can't be right. But in the case of Spud Webb, it is. Webb was not blessed with height, but he had hops and then some.
Super dynamic jumper, exceptionally explosive. At the time was just, you just didn't see things like that. Now obviously we have a much deeper well of short jumpers and short dunkers, but this at the time would have been a circus sideshow. It was amazing.
His vertical was 46 inches, and it allowed him to play the game with giants. Before the gravity
That photo with Manu Bol was absolutely hilarious.
Before the gravity did its thing, only for a little while, Spud was as tall as everybody else on the court. He will mostly be remembered for his time in Atlanta,
We're all
where
the
he
same height in
achieved
the
a
air.
feat that many thought it wasn't possible for him to achieve. The 1986 Slam Dunk Contest was the most memorable highlight of.
I haven't watched the 86 Slam Dunk Contest. If you're a young athlete on here, a young fan, and you haven't went back into the archives and watched the older contests with Spud and Dominique and Mike, you're missing out.
Webb's career, and the world was in shock when he defeated the 6'7" Dominique Wilkins with 2 perfect 50-point scores in the final round. Derrick Jones Jr.
DJJ. Okay, so we have some inside scoop on a handful of these athletes from what I've seen in the previews. There's a few people in here that we've been around involved with. The other half, the other jump guy, Coach Chase, my counterpart here is firsthand worked with Derrick in the dunk contest that he just won, along with Chuck Milan of Team Flight Brothers, and they can speak firsthand to just how unbelievably freakish of an athlete Derrick is. So this doesn't surprise me even in the slightest.
46 inches. In a somewhat controversial fashion, Derrick.
Okay, before we get into this, sorry to pause it a lot, but you watched this contest, I know you did. Let us know in the comments below who you think should have won. Do you think Derrick earned the contest? Do you think it was AG? I know where I stand on this. I know where Coach stands on this, and I know where Chuck stands on this. He earned the contest, he won the contest, and he was absolutely phenomenal. But hey, we're open to your opinions. Let us know below.
Jones won the 2020 Slam Dunk Contest. Dwayne Wade has been a great playmaker his entire career, and it's fair to say that we can add one more assist to his total talent. Nevertheless, even though Aaron Gordon deserved to win, so did Derrick Jones. His dunks were just as impressive, propelled by a 46-inch vertical.
They were just
when
as
Jones Jr.
more impressive in some rights. You know, AG saying, I jumped over the tallest guy in the building. Bro, you rode him like a pony. Let's call a spade a spade.
Elevates, it really feels like he is gliding through the air. And it's not just for the show, as he is
that dunk, let's just bring that back for a second. This dunk, one of the most impressive in-game dunks ever. Just absolutely NBA jam.
gliding through the air. And it's not just for the show, as he is probably the best in-game dunker in the NBA today. He's not the most important guy for the Miami Heat, averaging 9 points per game,
draws a crowd.
he's certainly the most dazzling. Zach LaVine, 46 inches.
Another freak, another guy that grew up watching a lot of those old school pro dunk videos, and it shows. I mean, he's a phenomenal dunker. This guy is a skilled athlete, obviously, but also a skilled mover of the ball. Great body awareness. Love watching Zach do his thing.
While many of today's NBA players can dunk, not everybody can really fly like LaVine. When the photo of your slam dunks looks fake because it seems impossible that you could actually dunk from that far, then you know you got hops. Zach LaVine is a proud owner of a 46-inch vertical jump and is widely regarded as one of the most athletic players of the new NBA generation. Zach won.
He's got one of those demeanors when he jumps and dunks that just makes everything look super simple. And I think as any athlete, when you can make what you do, which is exceptionally difficult, look easy, you're just performing on a different level.
2 slam dunk contests in 2015 and 16, and his dunk duel against Aaron Gordon was arguably the best slam dunk contest of all.
That really was. That was still to date one of my favorite contests to watch. That back and forth, that kind of relay of dunks from the pro world into the NBA was huge. I mean, you're seeing things like, you know, double up under both legs over people, scoops off hoverboards, and just variations of East Bays and behind the backs that were just marvelous. Just marvelous.
Time. After he tore his ACL in 2017, it seemed like his jumping ability would be diminished, but he managed to return to his old athletic self. LaVine added a reliable jump shot as well and is playing the best basketball of his career.
That's something that really highlights how great someone is when they can come back from an injury like that.
46 inches. James,
another athlete we know very well, top 3 highest and most dynamic 1-foot jumpers of all time. I'd say him, Zach LaVine on the prior athlete there. They're in very, very, very
small company.
White did not have a stellar NBA career, appearing in only 67 games with the averages of 2.7 points in less than 9 minutes.
Yeah, James was like just a super famous dunker. Like, he was a good ball player, but not a great ball player.
Dunker, not so much a great player. Nicknamed Flight,
I feel like I'm narrating this.
Really soared when he turned on the Jets. With the highest measured vertical of 46 inches, dunking was his specialty, and he was famous.
He popularized this kind of creativity from the free throw line, right? Doing variations like windmills and through the legs and behind the back, all of these different variations that no one in their right mind should ever be able to do from that far out, and he made them look quite easy at times.
For various between the legs acrobatics, he appeared in many dunk contests.
I feel like I'm narrating this video. This is my first time through this. I've seen this thumbnail for a while now.
Contests in various leagues, including the 2013 NBA dunk contest as a member of the Knicks. He won an NBA.
Didn't do so well in that contest, but it was all right.
Even though he didn't get a second of playing time in the playoffs. Jason Richardson, 46.5 inches.
Jay Rich, if you don't know Jay Rich, I don't know who you are, where you been, get out from under a rock.
A 2-year stint for Michigan State University, where
Jay Rich always reminded me of like a Sean Kemp. He had that same vigor, that same like I want to tear the rim off the backboard every time I dunk. He had that incredibly high force production demeanor about him.
State University, where he won the 2000 NCAA title. Drafted by the Warriors, Jay Rich dazzled with his scoring and exceptional athletic ability. With his 46.5-inch vertical, he was the most athletic player in the league in the early 2000s. Considering he played at the same time as Pete Carter, T-Mac, and Kobe, that is definitely something to be proud of. In the manner
such a raw athlete, and obviously in the contest world, he's stamped in history with some of the coolest variations and most difficult dunks ever done.
In the manner of Sean Kemp, Jay Rich was vicious to the rim.
I said Sean Kemp.
A regular appearance on the NBA Top 10. His out-of-this-world bounce helped him to win.
Love that variation. Show the Jay Rich East Bay.
And Jay Rich became the first player since Jordan to win it back-to-back. Richardson was a part of We Believe Warriors and 7 Seconds or Less Suns before finishing his career in Orlando and Philadelphia. Dennis Smith Jr., 48 inches.
Dennis Smith, just another highly dynamic, super elastic, explosive athlete. Reminds me a little bit kind of Westbrook-ish with his movements on the court, but jumps a lot higher than Russell.
Being able to jump really high is like winning a basketball lottery. It will often bail you out when your skills are not as developed. That can be a gift and a curse, as some players can rely on their athleticism too much and don't perfect other parts of their game. Dennis Smith Jr.
Facts. I think that's absolutely accurate. I think that there are a handful of athletes now and in history that relied very heavily on their ability just to jump over people, run by people, and then really could have perfected and fine-tuned the skills, individual skills involved with making them deeper, more resilient athletes.
Smith Jr. is one of those players. He can jump like Michael Jordan and has the same 48-inch vertical as him, but he's far away from his airness. Smith's career has been relatively disappointing so far.
Just a great, that cock back, that like arm back, turn the head on the finish, that nice style. I love dunks like that.
And he's averaging only 5 points per game for the Knicks this season. Despite those springs in his legs, he doesn't look like a starting NBA point guard as of yet, and will have to improve his skill to justify.
Bounce on bounce on bounce though, let's go. At the end of the day, we're watching a video on the top 10 highest vertical jumps, not best basketball players of all time, so let's go, get past it.
When we think
Dr. Dunkenstein.
Players of the 80s, the first associations are Jordan, Dominique, and Dr. J. With the 48-inch vertical, Darryl Griffith's jumping ability was up to par or better than those players, even though his legacy is somewhat forgotten compared to them. Griffith was the best player for the University of Louisville.
I can remember some highlights of Griffith now. Jumps well off 1 foot, off 2 feet, so there's that dynamic element there, and yeah, just a phenomenal. Can you imagine being in like the early 80s and seeing an athlete like this? Again, it's one of those, you know, trend-setting kind of spark to the athletic world where it's like, you guys better step up. We got people like this.
That won the NCAA title in 1980. He won the Most Outstanding Player of the Final Four and the John Wooden Player of the Year award. Utah Jazz selected him with the 2nd pick in the NBA draft, and Griffith was Rookie of the Year in 1981. His acrobatic jumping ability earned him the nickname Dr. Dunkenstein, and together with Adrian Dantley, Griffith made one of the best scoring duos in the first half of the 80s. Apart from being a 20-point scorer and
epic hairline too,
also led the league in three-point shooting for 2 years. However, 2 severe foot and knee injuries clipped his wings, and he wasn't
I did not know that.
no more. His production declined.
But again, the bane of many athletes is injury, right? Knees, especially for jumpers, so take care of your knees.
And Griffith was forced to retire at age 32. He played in Utah his entire career, and his number is retired by the team. Michael Jordan, 48 inches.
Listen, MJ's the GOAT. Phenomenal athlete. I don't know where I stand on how accurate this list is in terms of the exact inches. Now, the kind of new wave athletes, obviously combine test, but there's a certain standardization that needs to happen in order to compare all these athletes accurately, in my opinion. So I feel like this is a great attempt at a list. I love the athletes on here, but you let us know, comments below, if you feel like there's someone missing already. MJ's the last one here, so someone should have been on here. Give me your justification. Let us know.
Michael Jordan was destined to be great at basketball. He had a perfect body for the sport, and his 48-inch vertical and huge hands
He didn't bounce
from everybody else. Exceptional leaping ability.
Some real memorable jumps where you could tell he could jump real high.
For him, the laws of gravity apply a bit less. Jordan was athletically miles away from every player of his era. While others were merely jumping, Jordan would take flight in his Air Jordans and remain
Another effortless athlete.
seen before. Combined with his killer instinct and great basketball fundamentals, this created the narrative for Jordan to be the GOAT. A great example of Jordan's athletic supremacy is Larry Jordan, Michael's.
Oh yeah, his brother, if I'm not mistaken, had like a 40-some-odd inch vertical, and he's obviously quite a bit shorter, so it runs in the genes.
Larry was 5'8" and was not a pro basketball player, but Larry could also be called Air Jordan because he had a 44-inch.
There we go, 44. That's huge bounce.
Vince Carter's vertical is 43 inches, which tells you how genetically gifted Jordan was.
I know some of you are probably in the comments going, no, Vince jumped higher than that. Listen, Vince was a phenomenal, probably best dunker, in-game dunker all time, arguably across the board. But from a vertical perspective, he's a long athlete. And when you get to be long and tall, there becomes less of a need to jump exceptionally high. So that's why, I'd love to know and see some of the testing that was done with Michael back in his heyday. Not taking anything away from him by any means, but 48 inches is very high off the ground. And at 6'6", 48 inches puts Jordan's head 6 inches above the rim. If you can find me that clip, let me know. I know there's a couple clips where he's up there. But yeah. Anyway, appreciate this video from Nonstop Sport. They did a phenomenal job narrating through. Did I miss anything? Is there anything else that we could have touched on? Let us know in the comments below. If you made it this far, you're obviously a fan. Click the subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, and click the notification bell so you know all of our upcoming videos. I love doing reaction videos like this and chiming in on areas where I can analyze things like jumps in all different sports. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the rest of our channel. We have different reactions, breakdowns, analysis, and then just videos on exercises and things to do to help you right out of the gate. We are the technique kings around this world. We have really pioneered the space of 2-foot jump technique, and we have a brand new program releasing this Friday, November 20th. We're gonna put the link in the description below so you grab that. In our opinion, if you're jump training and you're not training your technique, you're not fully jump training. So take our word for that, because we've helped thousands of athletes around the world add inches to their jump exceptionally quick, but also really reveal some of the holes that really exist in the athlete. So we're super excited for people to take part in that. Links in the description, check it out, all the stuff. I'll just do this until you do it, and then you come back. Hey, I had a great time. I want to do more like this, and I will do more like this. You have my word. This is Tyler Ray here, expert vertical jump coach here at Project Pure Athlete. It's been my pleasure. We'll catch you in the next one, and there's one more thing if I remember. I can't. Oh yeah, COVID high five.